Okay, so what we're going to look at today is how to create a table view, and we're going to look at event listeners as well and alerts. The type of table we're going to create is going to be an editable one. Now let's just have a look at the finished app here. So you can see I've just called it table view there. We've got these rows here. If we go to edit, we can delete that. We can delete that and we can then cancel. There we go, we've got an alert telling us what rows we deleted. So that's the app. It's quite simplistic. I'm just going to show you how to do that. So I've created an app here called Editable Table View, and this is the automated code, the app.js code that it creates. So the first thing we're going to do is, let's just have a look. Right, Win2. So we don't really need Win2, but we'll keep it there anyway. But what we need in our table is sections. We're actually going to, it might seem a bit backwards, we're going to create the rows for the table and the sections first, and then create the tables in the table. And the reason for that is so that we can add the section and the rows as parameters when we're creating the table. Just makes the code a little simpler to read them. So we create our sections, var section 1 equals usual way we do it, and then this is going to be create table view section. Let's see if it will come up here. Yeah, create table view section. Let's just do that, and we're just going to give a title for this section. Header title. I'm going to call it section 1. Okay, that's that. And let's create our second section. Create. Oh, got rid of the automated thing, so I'll have to type it out myself. Table view section. Let's give this header title section 2. Now next we were going to add the data, so we'll just call this var data, and data is basically the rows that are going to go in to the app. Now I'm going to do this in a, we could do var data and just create all the rows, so it could be like row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, do it that way. But I've thought, why not do a for loop to loop through that and then just assign the values automatically. It'll save a lot of code, a lot of lines, it'll be a lot more legible. So let's create a var data, do that, and now we're going to do a for loop for I is equal to 0. This is for our first section. I think we'll just have about 3 rows, I plus plus, and this is where we go. So I is equal to ci dot ui dot create table view row. So this is going to create, obviously the for loop's going to run this 3 times because it's starting at 0. So we'll do it once, and then the second, and then the third time. Yep. And if we give this row a title of row, and I'll put a space here, and then plus I, that I will obviously change depending on the value that I is. And I'm going to select the height of my row, I'm going to make it about 35. Okay, right. So we just need to now add these to the section. So the same way with everything else in Titanium, all we do is we have to add this data then to the section. So earlier on we created section 1, so it's just section1.add, and let's give it this data. Okay, so that will just add that to section 1. Brilliant. Now we're just going to do the same thing for the next one. Let me just check that these are matching up. Yeah, they are. So for section 2, let's just start it here. Second for loop, and that will go to row 3. So we want to start this one at I equals 3 and say to 7. Here do exactly the same, except this is now section 2, we're adding it to. Okay. Now this is where we actually create our table. So var table just ti.ui.create table view. And remember earlier where I said we were doing it backwards so we could set the parameters this way to cut down in code. Now this is where we give it those parameters. So let's tell it what the data is. And you can simply pass it in section 1 and section 2. A lot simpler than adding it. There's too many adds, I think, in Titanium. You have to add this to that. It's much better to set the parameters. And this table style, we're going to set it as grouped because I think it looks prettier when it's grouped. So style.ti.ui. Of course you can change it, it's grouped and it's plain, I think are the two options. Table view, style.grouped. Now, why has that got some little crosses there? Because we've got a dot there instead of the name value pair. Okay, now we have to add this table, don't we? So let's add this table to a win1. And I'm just going to get rid of, I think it puts a label in, yeah, let's get rid of this label up here. And let's just try that out, see what that looks like. So this is it down here. Let's hope there's no big red thing telling me there's an error. Ah, here we go, it's worked. So you can see how the section 1 and section 2 what we've done, and the for loop created those and those.